This video explains how to handle the error message "error in fix.by must specify a uniquely valid column in the R programming language." So without too much talk, let's dive into the R programming code. In this video I will show you an example, and for this example we first need to create two example data frames, as you can see in lines 1 to 9 of the code. So in lines 1 to 3 I'm creating our first example data frame called data1, and by running line 4 of the code we are printing this data frame at the bottom in the RStudio console. So as you can see, this data frame contains 5 rows and the 3 columns ID1, X1 and X2. And then in lines 6 to 8 of the code I'm creating another example data frame called data2, and we can print this data frame to the bottom in the RStudio console as well by running line 9 of the code. And then you can see that we have created another data frame that also contains 5 rows and the 3 columns ID2, Y1 and Y2. Now let's assume that we want to merge these two data frames using the merge function. Then we might try to use the code that you can see in lines 11 to 13. So in these lines of code I'm specifying our two data sets, data1 and data2. And then in this case I'm specifying that I want to merge based on the column ID1. However, if you run these lines of code, you can see that the error message "error in fix.by by must specify a uniquely valid column" is returned. And the reason for that is that the second data frame contains a different ID column. So the first data frame contains the ID column ID1, and the second data frame contains the ID column which is called ID2. And for that reason we need to specify those two names within the merge function. So as you can see in lines 15 to 18 of the code, in this case I'm specifying the by.x argument to be equal to the column name of our ID in the first data frame, and the by.y argument to be equal to the column name in our second data frame. And then I'm also storing the output of the merge function in a new data set that I'm calling data_all. So after running lines 15 to 18 of the code, this new data frame is appearing at the top right. And by running line 19 of the code, our new merged data frame is shown at the bottom in the RStudio console. So as you can see, we have created a new ID column which is called ID1, and we have added the 4 different columns of our two input data frames, so the columns X1 and X2 of the first data frame and the columns Y1 and Y2 of the second data frame to our combined data set. That's all I wanted to explain in this video. In case you want to learn more on this topic, you may check out my homepage statisticsglobe.com, because on my homepage I have recently published a tutorial in which I'm explaining the content of this video in some more detail. I will put a link to this tutorial into the description of the video so you can find it there. If you have liked this video or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. I'll try to respond to all comments as soon as I can. Furthermore, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notified about future video releases. I have already published about 500 videos on this channel, and I'm releasing new videos on a daily basis. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video.